Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to learn FMEA, which is a risk assessment tool, but we use extensively in Six Sigma project to identify the risk, failure in the processes. So let's start the discussion. If I talk about failures in a process, or if I ask you how many times recall the incidences where a process failure comes as a surprise to you, right? So you don't normally associate it with, or you may not have thought about this failure point which occurs, right? What does it mean is, whatever the output you wanted from the process, that output is, in terms of quality it is not good, or in terms of quantity it is not good, right? And how does it happen? If you go back to the fundamentals of Six Sigma, we always talk about y equal to fx, right? And our y is always the output, and our x's are the inputs, right? So this is the inputs and these are the outputs, y equal to fx, right? Now anything wrong in the output, it is not because the output is wrong, right? That's what the fundamental methodology is. We always identify the input side, which input has gone wrong, that's why the output has gone wrong, right? So what we do in FMEA, to summarize, in FMEA we identify in what way this input can fail, right? How does the input fail? This one. Then we identify how frequently is it failing. Do I have any controls or not, current process controls? And then once you have so many controls, how do you prioritize those controls, right? That is severity. So this is a brief of FMEA, what the tool is. So fundamentally we have to identify the failure modes for a input, right? Let's take an example. So if we talk about the simplest of example, let's take making of a tea, right? And what input goes into this? Sugar, milk, tea, the heat, right? Then I can add so many here, right? The knowledge, time, resources, so many other things. Just for example, I have added here sugar, milk, tea, heat, all these things. Then we prepare the tea, right? The process of preparing the tea is a knowledge area, where how much time you have to heat, and that also can be standardized here. Now if we think from a restaurant environment, or where we go to have coffee, tea or something, right? There we can say, from the customer side, if the tea is not good, right, then one of this input was not good, right? Either the sugar was less or sugar was high, the quality of the milk was not good, the tea was different than the normal tea they are using, the heat was less or heat was very high, so it burnt. It can be anything, high, low, medium, anything, right? So anything wrong in this inputs can create something wrong in the output. That's what the basic, that's what the fundamental. And we are trying to identify, let's take example of sugar, right? In what way a sugar will fail, right? In terms of preparing a tea. Now before we proceed ahead, I just wanted to share with you all that AIAG and VDA has come up with a new FMEA, a failure mode effect analysis. And this new FMEA has got 7 steps within this. Now currently what I am here sharing with you all is as per the old FMEA, which was from step 4 to step 7 broadly, right? Or we can say, to be very specific, step 4 and 5. So this were already there, but this was not in terms of a Six Sigma body of knowledge. Now we can think again and add all this. Even ASQ has not added all these things till now. in the latest body of knowledge. So let's wait for it, but till the time let's understand what is the old FMEA, right? The new FMEA came into practice from June 2019, but it is still not implemented everywhere. Now few components before we get into the FMEA. The first one is a process or input, right? This we know, like sugar was the input, right? And the process is making tea. So this is the first one. The second one is failure mode, how sugar will fail, right? Next is potential failure effect. So if we don't have sugar, then what happens if we don't have sugar? If we don't have tea, what happens then, right? Then severity. So severity is, though this is given in terms of a automotive environment, if we relate it to a process area, if the operation stops or the customer requirement are not fulfilled, then the severity has to be very high, right? And similarly, the severity goes slowly down with the rating. The severity rating with the range is from 1 to 10, and based on the requirements we assign a number to it, severity number to it. Next is potential causes. Potential causes is coming from potential failure mode, right? So what we are saying, if the potential failure mode is sugar is not available, what causes it? What causes the potential failure mode, right? And then we assign something called a occurrence to it. Occurrence means how frequently this happens, right? For example, how frequently you find that sugar is not available, milk is not good, how frequently. So based on the occurrence, we assign a number to it from 1 to 10. So this guidelines you can read. This is I have taken from somewhere from the Google in terms of images, but you can check the details also, right? They have published a book completely. If you are interested, I can give the link below and you can go and check that book out, right? But it has to be purchased. It is not available with me to give it free. I can just give the link for all of you for reference, right? Now detection. How frequently, if there is a failure mode, does it goes undetected? For example, there is no sugar in the tea and 50 customers are served in it. It cannot happen that it goes undetected, right? So how frequently it gets detected, right? Now for example, it cannot be detected at all. Then we assign a very high number to it, between 1 to 10, but here the ability to detect is very low. That's why we are assigning a higher number. It is not that if the ability is very low, we assign a lower number to it. It is slightly confusing, but that's how it is. And it's since we are assigning a higher number to the detection potential, right? Now this is changed in the new one. So this was earlier RPN, right? Risk priority number, and this we used to get by multiplying severity into occurrence into detection, right? So the maximum each of this can be 10, that is 10 into 10 into 10. So maximum RPN for one number can be 1000. That's the maximum RPN one can have. But now they have removed RPN and now they are calling it action priority number, right? So this is changed now. So let's take this example forward and let's take the input as sugar only. And what are the failure modes? The failure modes is no sugar at all, right? And then there is another failure mode which can be less sugar and another can be more sugar, right? So the customer says that my tea did not had any sugar, my tea had less sugar, my tea had more sugar, right? This is, if we go back, I have taken out of this inputs, I have taken sugar as the input 1. Please have it in mind, because this, when you actually do it, it is really complicated, right? Now potential failure effect for no sugar is the operation can stop, right? So I see that there is no sugar, I cannot make tea, right? And the severity, that's why I have rated it very high as 9, right? Potential causes, where there is where we find that there is no sugar and still no one detects it, because there is no inventory management, they don't check every day, right? Another failure mode can be available, but it cannot be used, means either ways it is like no sugar, right? So it is expired in a rainy day or very cold weather. If the lid is not closed properly, if the storage is not done properly, then it might get spoiled also, the sugar, right? The occurrence of this is not that high, it is a little low, so I have assigned 4 and 5 to it. And what are the current controls? They don't have any current control as such right now, right? None of them. For no sugar, they don't have any control. The detection is, yes, it is 7 and 8, because customer does not come back immediately and tell us there is no sugar. They come after few times, they search for it, then the waiter checks it, and after that it reaches to the manager, who knows probably after serving about 50 customers that there is no sugar. That's why the detection is low, right? Action priority, this has changed now, so you can assign high, medium, low, right? And the action is what is your plan to mitigate this action, right? Mitigate this failure mode. So the failure mode to mitigate the action would be, we will have a inventory management every day evening. So every day evening before the shop closes down, someone has to check end to end that whether each and every inventory is available or not, and then so before starting next day they should know that everything is available, right? So that's the action, and to that action you have to assign a high, medium, low action priority. Now if you see, this is for only for no sugar, we have this entire process, right? Similarly you have to do for less sugar, similarly you have to do for more sugar, right? And similarly you have to do for the other inputs also, and you will find this action priority list will become a huge list. So that's why making it high, medium, low, and this score here, it helps you to prioritize which one to attack first, how to solve it first, right? So this is another, just to share with you, another template for failure mode effect analysis. This is the template, and hope you have understood and use it for simple steps like this. If you have any doubts, anything, do let me know by sharing in the feedback section or comment box, right? And next session we will learn about the root cause analysis. Thank you. Thanks a lot.